Robinson became the first African American to play in the Major League Baseball for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947.
Alright, so what I was studying was William Grant Stewart, and he was a classic composer of his genre, and I chose him because he's a great composer. And he played the oboe.
Hello, my name is Tanya. Today I'm going to tell you about Mahalia Jackson for my history subject. I chose her because a lot of my family members love her music and movies. My favorite movie by her that she was in was Imitation of Life. She is a gospel singer as well. She was the first person to play the Hammond organ. She mostly did vocals though. Mahalia Jackson did not record again until 1946, singing with the Apollo Records. Although her relations with the label were often strained, the work she produced during her 8 years staying on the roster was frequently brilliant. She was an actor as well, but I already mentioned that. So let me tell you this. Mahalia Jackson was an influential civil rights activist. When a young Martin Luther King Jr. called on her, she never refused traveling with him to the deepest parts of the segregated South.
The civil rights movement was a struggle for social justice that took place mainly during the 1950s and 1960s. For African Americans to gain equal rights under the law in the United States.
Rosie Parks refused to book a Christian on the bus to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama, leading to the Montgomery bus boycott from 1955 to 1956.
In 1957, 9 black high school students integrated Little Rock Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. The National Guard was called in to protect them from harm.
Greensboro City. In 1964, black students entered the famous city at a white-owned Woolworth lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Freedom riders were civil rights activists who rode interstate buses into the segregated South in 1961 in order to challenge the non-enforcement of the United States Supreme Court, ruling that segregated public buses were unconstitutional. The southern states had ignored the rulings and the federal government did nothing to enforce them.
Martin Luther King Jr. was an African-American Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights movement from 1954 to 1968.
Ralph J. Burge was the first African American to win a 1950 Nobel Peace Prize.
The 16th Street Baptist Church volume was an act of the white supremacist terrorism which occurred at the African American 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, on Sunday, September 15, 1903, when 4 members of the Ku Klux Klan planted at least 50 sticks of dynamite attached to a timing device beneath the steps of church. 4 young African Americans were killed.
Malcolm X.
President Johnson signed Civil Rights Act of 1964, giving government more power to protect citizens against race, religion, gender, or national origin from discrimination.
Malcolm X, former minister and National of Islam and civil rights activist, was assassinated in 1965.
Hello, my name is Michael Rogers, and today I'm presenting you a photo of the thousands of participants inside the 3 protest marches from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, for Black voting rights in 1965. This is a very historical moment for Black people, as to now, due to that very moment, now we have the right to vote and to publicly express ourselves in politics and speeches. And it was also led by Dr. Martin Luther King and other participants of the civil rights movement. Thank you. Hello, my name is Michael Rogers, and today I'm presenting a photo of President Johnson in 1965. President Johnson was well known for signing the Declaration rights of Black people being able to vote. So Black people can now vote today, and they also have more political discussion.
The reason I chose Michael Jackson is because I really like his music and his dancing. And I'm going to talk about it. Michael Jackson was born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana. He began performing with his 4 brothers in a pop group, the Jackson 5. When he was a child, the group scored its first No. 1 single in 1969 with I Want You Back. By age 11, Jackson was appearing on TV, and by age 14, he released his first solo album. A Jackson 5 TV cartoon series appeared in the early 70s. And in 1976, the Jackson family, including sister Janet Jackson, launched a TV variety show called The Jacksons that ran for 1 season. Throughout the 70s, media attention focused on Michael, who piped vocals in his high voice of ABC, I'll Be There, and many other top 20 hits.
April 4th, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King is fatally shot while standing on the balcony outside his second story room at the Lauren Motel in Memphis, Tennessee.
Hi, and today I'll be talking about Ray Charles. He was also known as the father of soul. Ray Charles won a Grammy Award in 1960 for a song, Georgia on My Mind. He also won a Grammy for Hit the Road Jack. Throughout his career in the mid-1960s, Ray Charles battled an accident to heroin, but he managed to kick the habit at the Click in LA.
In 1967, Thurgood Marshall became the first Black justice for the U.S. Supreme Court.
For Black History, I chose Stevie Wonder. The reason I chose Stevie Wonder is because he is blind, and some facts about him is that his genre is classical soul. He is a 19-time Grammy Award winner. Stevie Wonder was a leader in declaring Martin Luther King's birthday and national holiday. And in 1976, he signed a $13 million deal with Motown, the largest recording deal in history at the time. Current net worth is $110 million.
Hi, my name is Shania Shelton, and I'm going to be telling you about Anita Baker. Anita Baker was born January 26, 1958 in Toledo, Ohio. She was abandoned by her mother at age 2 and was raised by foster parents in Detroit, Michigan. By age of 12, her foster parents died, and she was later raised by her foster sister. By the age of 16, she was singing in a Detroit nightclub. After the first performance, she was picked up and directed by David Washington, who gave her a card to audition for Chapter 8. She joined the group in 1975 until 1979. She was told she did not have star potential. Otis Smith convinced her to start a solo career under his platform. She later won 8 Grammys, 18 nominees, in 2013, Michigan Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, American Music Awards. She won 4 awards and 9 nominees, Soul Train 7 awards, and Hollywood Walk of Fame even gave her her own star. That is my presentation for Anita Baker. Thank you.
Dr. Jocelyn L. Gates was a public health administrator who served as Surgeon General of the United States from 1993 to 1994.
Hello, my name is Dylan Craig, and today I'll be talking about Prince Rogers Nelson, also known as Prince. Prince was famous because of his songs and his dancing, and he was a songwriter. And he was born on June 7, 1958, and died on April 21st, 2016 because of an accidental overdose. And one thing I didn't know about when I was little is when he had a son named Amir Nelson, and he had died when he was an infant because of a disorder. And I chose Prince because I liked his music and I listened to it every time it came on the radio.
Gladys Knight began singing with her siblings at age 8, calling Gladys Knight and the Pips. The group opened for R&B legends in the 1950s, then headed to Motown and crossed over to pop music. As Gladys Knight and the Pips, they recorded their signature song, Midnight Train to Georgia. Gladys Knight left the Pips behind in 1989 and continued to perform and record as a solo artist. Today, she's fondly as the Empress of